Hey everyone, my name is Brianna Wilson. I am the founder and occupational therapist behind Freedom and Function, located in Austin, Texas, where I work with adults and seniors post-stroke in the comfort of their homes, helping them reach their goals and get back to living. So in this video, I wanted to show you a one-handed technique of putting on a button-up shirt. This can also be applied to something like a jacket. And I'm also going to show you how to do one-handed buttoning as well as unbuttoning. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to be doing the button-up shirt, or this could also apply to a jacket. And I'm going to show you how to put it on. So you want to put your affected arm into your lap. Today I'm using my right hand as my affected, and the unaffected arm is going to be the one that controls the shirt. Now, first things first, you want to make sure that your shirt is the correct way, because commonly with these types of shirts, as you can see, the armhole will be inverted to the inside of the shirt. So if that's the case, what you want to do is stay inside the shirt, right? Find that armhole, and you're just going to push it out the opposite direction. So I'm basically going like this and pushing it out until I get towards the end, and I just shake it out. Okay, so you just want to make sure that for the button-up shirt, the tag side is going to be facing up. With the pullover shirt, we have the tag facing down. But for this shirt, we're going to have it facing up. And again, you want to make sure that the left sleeve is separated from the right sleeve. So go ahead and pull your sleeves out. The rest of the shirt is not really that important. Okay? Now, for this one, we're going to be going through the same side armhole. Because remember, when you put on this type of shirt, you're putting one arm in and then it's coming around, right? So let me get back to tag up, separate out the armholes so that they don't get confused. Okay, boom. So we're going to go through the same side armhole, and remember we're starting at the end. So we're going to work our way through the end of the shirt until you get to like the armpit, and then you're going to kind of back out and grab it. So your hand should be between the bottom of the sleeve and the armpit of the shirt. Okay, then you're just going to pull it off your lap, and you're going to thread it through or thread it onto the affected arm. And again, we're kind of using this motion, kind of getting it around the hand, and then we're going to pull it up. Okay. And don't be afraid to pull any direction around the sleeve that you need to. I know some people like to kind of perseverate in one area, but any area is a go. And you want to get it up as high as you can over that elbow. Then, if you can, you want to move it either closer to you if there's more shirt that you need to get out of the way, or adjust it however you need to. But this is fine. So what we're going to do is take this side of the shirt and we're just going to throw it to the ground. So it's out of the way, but it's on the correct side. Okay, move the fabric over. Now, if you can, you want to go ahead and pull. You want to go ahead and pull all the way over the shoulder if you can. Now, I will say that when putting on this type of shirt or with like a jacket, this type of shirt puts you at the most risk for injury when getting dressed. And there's a couple of reasons why. With these types of movements, you're going to be doing a lot of internal rotation. Sometimes people like to bring it over their head, which you're internally rotating that arm to perform, which can cause impingement. And then you're also internally rotating, extending, and reaching over, which kind of puts this at an extreme, okay? So you want to be very careful and mindful of that when you're doing these types of dressing activities, okay? So what you want to do is take the shirt, and if you can, put it, you just bundle the whole thing up. You're going to put it behind you. So if you can shift your weight and dump it behind you, that's good. If you can't, just try to push it back there depending on what kind of chair that you have. Now, I try to avoid extreme movements if I can to protect the shoulder, because if you can give it a good toss, it should end up at least at the center of your bottom if you can give it a good toss. And again, if you don't feel like you got a good toss and you need to abort, pull it back out. Pull it back out. Protect the good shoulder. You have to protect that unaffected shoulder, okay? So again, weight shift if you can and toss it back there. And it should end up, at least a part of it, a piece of fabric should end up towards the middle of your butt so you don't have to do any extreme reaching to the other side, okay? Now, what you want to do once you find a piece of fabric is you're going to take it and turn it this way and pull. Because now we're going into external rotation, which is a little bit better than trying to pull an internal rotation. So when you find that fabric, pull out this way. Okay? Then you can find the armhole, which is right here. And so you're just going to trace the inside of the shirt down into the armhole and then pull it over, straighten out the collar. And there we have it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do one-handed buttoning. And again, if you can move this away from the body so that you can pull it out or put it on the side altogether, even better. But if not, you're just going to have to kind of play with it, okay? So to prepare for buttoning the shirt, you want to get it so that the fabric is meeting. And I'm going to come closer so that you can get a better view of this shirt because I know there's a lot going on. Okay, so hopefully I'm close enough so that you can see the buttons. I don't typically wear button-ups, so I had to borrow a shirt. There's a lot going on, so it's not ideal, but hopefully you can still see the buttons and tell what I'm doing. So a couple things, if you don't want to use your fingers to do the one-handed buttoning, you can use something like a button hook that you thread through and you loop it and you push it back on. Or if buttoning just seems way too challenging, you can always get Velcro installed along here and on the back side of here and just Velcro it down if you just want to make life simpler. Or we can go through how to do it with one hand. Okay, so a lot of people are tempted to start with the button side first and try to thread the button through the slit. But that way is much more difficult and you have to probably rely on your vision a lot more. So what you want to do is start with the slit side first. Now, depending on what side is unaffected and what side your slits are on, either your thumb or your index finger is going to be the one identifying the hole, okay? So, for example, with this side, it's my thumb identifying the hole. But if I was doing it from this side, it would be my index finger. You get what I'm saying? Identifying the hole, okay? So I'm going to just use my left hand, which I'm right-handed, so this is my non-dominant hand in this case, okay? So what you're going to do is make sure that the buttons are lying flat, because if it's turned, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, so just make sure they're lying flat. You want to identify the slit with either your thumb or your index, and then these two are kind of like your helper hands for the button. So you're going to identify the slit, and you're going to identify the button. You're going to bring the slit over to the button. See that? Okay. And then you're going to, it's hard to slow it down, but you're going to push the button through the slit. And then you're kind of pushing over. Okay. So I'm trying to show you. Can you see that? It's a lot harder when you're trying to show somebody what you're doing, but just bringing the slit over to the button to meet, and you're essentially pinching it. Can you see that? Onto the slit. So let me just do it. There. So when you're not trying to show somebody, it is a little bit tricky. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Once you get the hang of it, again, I am not left-handed. I am right-handed, so it is a little bit awkward for me, as it will feel awkward for you guys as well. But you're just bringing the slit over to the button and then pushing the button through. Okay. And you'll just do that all the way down. So let me show you again. We'll do this one. So find the slit, bring it over to the button, and you're going to kind of flip the button up just a touch. Push it through, okay? Push it through. So hopefully you can see that, okay? So there you go. Now to unbutton it, you're literally just pulling underneath the button in the fabric, okay? And then you're pushing the button back through. So peeling over, and then with that other thumb, pushing it through. See? So under, and push. And you notice I kind of use my body to help stabilize it. And it's usually a lot easier to unbutton than it is to button. So yeah, I just encourage you to practice the skill. It's definitely a skill. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world. Usually we're used to being able to stabilize the button so you can find it, right? Hold it here. Whereas this hand is having to play both roles of stabilizing the button, but also pushing it through. Okay, so now that we got the buttoning and unbuttoning out the way, let me show you how to take this shirt off. So what you can do is pull it over your head the same way that we did the button up. So by doing that, you're bringing the arm back, and you can just lean over like this and pull it, but I prefer to bunch up the back of the shirt first because it's just less for me to have to pull up and the less time I have to be down like this. So again, tuck your chin, bend down, pull over, work it over the head until it's down. And then for this one, same thing, you can push it down over, or you can try to get it off this one first, shake it down, bring off the rest, and there you go. So hopefully this video is helpful.